I hate being around people who speak condescending to me. So you try to find comfort in the middle. And I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something about the middle. The middle is dangerous. You will never discover your genius with a consistent agreement of living in the middle. You understand? So the genius comes. God never warns you when he's not going to appear. And so when God does not appear the way you're familiar with it, that's him compelling you to get out of the middle and allow this genius to come forth forever. See, God will not allow the genius to come forth for a problem, and then once the problem is solved, you descend back to the middle. Because once you come out of the middle and come out of the hole, you have to stay out of the hole. Once the genius appears, you can't go back to the warm cover of complacency anymore. And sometimes we want the genius to come out to solve the problem so we can finally rest in the middle. But God will never warn you when he's leaving or when he won't appear, because he wants to evict you and I from the middle, from complacency, and bring you to the heavenlies. You understand? So the genius will not work in the middle. The genius will not work in the complacency. The genius only will work when you step higher. You understand? When God does not appear, it means you're in the middle. He's trying to get you out of complacency. You're in a comfortable situation. You'd had some successes, and now you're trying to build a camp around this success or this comfortability of yours. And so when God wants you to move, he will stop appearing in a familiar way. How many of you understand what I'm saying? When God is not appearing, he wants your genius to appear. When God seems absent, he wants your genius to become present. But the genius will never appear when you're still living in the middle. And once again, the middle is I'm angry and I feel convicted when you're trying to push me upward. And I feel angry when you speak to me in a condescending manner. I don't want you talking to me low or degrading, and I don't want you pushing me high. I want to determine where I move and if I move. You understand? I have lost a lot of relationships because people feel you're trying to push me higher, when I'm really trying to guide you to your natural nature. Your natural nature is already higher. It's already heavenly. And so leaders will come to guide you to the nature of your nature. They will guide you where your nature belongs. They're not pushing you. They're opening the door to let you know that's where you're supposed to reside. And see, when you don't want to reside higher or lower, you find yourself remaining in the middle. And whenever you remain in the middle, your genius will never appear. So God, once again, God will never warn you when he's not going to show up. He'll never send you an email and say, you know, you're going to have a problem next week and I'm not going to be there. Because there's going to come a grown-up moment. Let me hear you say grown-up moment, where God will no longer make your emergencies his priority. See, when I was a babe in this thing, God would just show up and he would never allow me to get in trouble. He would always make sure I had enough money right there. Make sure I wouldn't get this. Make sure I wouldn't get that. Hide me from this. Make sure he would hide me from that. But there comes a time that God will allow the rumors against you to get even heavier. And it seems like he's not going to stop the folk. He's going to allow what they're saying to keep going. He's going to allow this to happen and allow this to happen, not just to show you something, but to allow the genius within you to show you how to act. The genius is going to have to rise and tell you, now you need to settle your character this way. This is how you need to live now. You can't be so loose with yourself now. The genius is going to have to teach you in the midst of rumors. You want to say, God, shut their mouths. But see, when you didn't know no better, God would shut their mouths before it would catch on. But now, when it's time to grow, he's going to let the people talk. And you're going to have to listen to your genius. How many of you understand what I'm talking about? You're going to have to listen to the wisdom of the nature now. And the wisdom is going to say you need to calm yourself down here and you need to live right here. This time he's going to tell you how to make better decisions. The genius is going to tell you stop spending right there. Begin to spend right there. Begin to save this. Begin to cut this away. See, if God keeps making your emergency his priority, you will never grow up into the divine being that you already are. You will never see who you really are. You will never see. And so you will learn to still succeed in the midst of rumors. You will learn to still have favor and power in the midst of lies. He's going to show you, but he never warns you when he's going to do it. God never warns you and tell you in 24 hours, I will not appear on time. He never, how many of you God have ever said that to? Yvette, has God ever said, Yvette, I won't show up tomorrow? He never lets you know. He never tells you. There is an unction within you to let you know that life is starting to shift and it's time to take advantage of it now. He never lets you know that he's going to put you in a situation for your genius to be seen. He never lets you know that I will not appear in a familiar way, the way I've appeared to you before. How many of you are experiencing that right now? And I'm going to let you go. I'm not going to hold you. How many of you are experiencing that right now? God has changed his appearance. He's changed his comfortability with you. That was a way God used to come to you, and you would be comfortable. But now it's not comfortable anymore. You can't resort back to the past practice. It's like Samson. He was so used to God being there till he lived so loose. This time when he lost his covenant, he would wake up and shake himself like before. And the scriptures say the Spirit of God wasn't with him anymore. He said, I'll just go and shake myself like before. I'll go and do what I used to do. Some of you are finding yourself right now, shaking yourself, and you don't feel. You don't feel that thing like you used to feel it. You get nervous now. You're shaking yourself. God's turned your world around now. He's warned you. He hasn't pre-warned you that he's not going to appear that way. And now things are happening and you're shaking yourself and you're going back to your familiar verse and you're praying your familiar prayer and you're rocking and you're praying in your familiar tongue and you're not feeling your peace. You're not feeling it. And you're asking people, are they praying for you? You're like, wait a minute, what's going on? God is causing your genius to appear. He didn't tell you that he was going to stop appearing in a familiar way. He didn't let you know. He didn't warn you. He didn't send an email. He didn't send an APB out. He has now told the universe. He has sent a word to the frequency of the universe. Do not respond to her. Do not respond to him that way anymore. You're just crying harder. You're doing it. Your desperation is not moving the hand of God. And then you buy books. You're buying books now. You're thinking, am I with a brass heaven? Now you're thinking there's sin in your heart. Is there sin in my mind? Where am I going wrong? Where is not sin? It's the time for growth. Some of us are conditioned to think we are in sin when actually it's the time for growth now. It's time for you to grow up and allow the genius of the divine to appear. You're buying books. You're listening to teachers. You're trying to find out if it's sin in your life. You're calling people that you broke up with years ago to say, I'm sorry. You're trying to reconnect. You're trying to do old practices again. You're trying to clap. You're putting music in there. You're trying to sing old songs when you were younger, and it's not working because it's time for the genius to appear. It's time for the genius. It's time for the genius to come. It's time for the genius to come down. And God didn't warn you. God didn't let you know. You're wondering what's going on. You're shaking, and you're like, where did I go wrong? And God said, you didn't go wrong. I'm trying to bring you higher. But this time, I want your genius to take you there. I want it. I want your genius to come up. How many of you are starting to experience your inner genius now? And see, in the time of inner genius, that's when you feel your most loneliness. You feel lonely and dry. I remember when I used to have them dry times in spirit. When I was younger, I used to say, I feel like I'm not saved. So it feels like you're not connected. So you say, I don't know if I'm saved no more, because you feel in that dry. That's that old time Pentecostal feeling I had in the Kojic church. And I'm not blaming the Kojic church. That's just where I was. And I remember I used to say, I don't feel saved. I used to cry. When they used to sing, I used to feel it. And all of a sudden, I stopped feeling it. And then you get preached to like something is wrong with you. And you fake a cry, you fake a shout, you fake a tongue to try to get yourself back in covenant. The thing is, you never lost covenant. God just didn't warn you that he was causing your genius to appear. He never let you know, I'm not appearing that way no more. I'm not going to come this way no more. I'm going to move really slow on your behalf. I'm going to be on time, and I'm only slow because you're looking for me instead of your genius. It seems like I'm not on time because you're looking for the wrong person. You're looking for me as a cosigner when you really should be looking in yourself as the divine genius. You're looking at the wrong person. It's slow because you're waiting for me and you're not seeing me in your genius. You're waiting for me to come and deliver instead of you looking in you as the genius. I done already put it in you already, but you're looking for the wrong person. You're looking in the heavens when you should be looking in you. You're looking up when you should be looking within. You should be looking within, and as long as you look up, I'm going to be late. But when you look within, I'm on time. It's time for all of us to begin to make right now decisions. Stop making late decisions. Stop making those late payment decisions. Stop making them. He's put a genius within you. He never warns you. He never warns you. God would never tell you. And parents, we've done it with our children. We watch them, and when they're babies and they start walking, we pick them up. But you notice after a while, we stop picking them up when they fall. We say, stop. He's going to get up. He's going to get up. So don't touch him. When you see your children trying to walk and you're not there, you know what it's like when we used to get our kids. And I'm going to let you go because I don't want to be boring you. And we would hold our children. I would be here. Bridget would be there. And we would hold Benjamin. And Benjamin would walk and walk from me to her. He would walk from me to her. And after a while, when we're not there, the child will practice walking outside of the presence of the parent. The child will practice walking. So the child will pick themselves up on a coffee table or a chair and take a step on their own. So you would watch them try to walk alone. And you would see them fall. And your fathership and your mothership would want to go reach them. And something say, no. The daddy, I would do it. No, let's watch him. Let's watch him. And they would fall and cry a little bit because they're frustrated. And this time he would stand up on his own. Well, God will watch you and say, no, we're going to watch. God never warns you when he's teaching you to walk on your own. He never sends an email to let you know tomorrow you will be walking on your own. In just another hour, you'll be walking on your own. Later tonight, you will be walking on your own. A situation is going to happen, and you will be walking on your own. I am there, but I am there in the form of your genius. I want you to receive what I'm saying. I want you to receive what I'm saying. And it's painful, guys, and it hurts. But it's true. We're waiting for God in a familiar way. And all familiar ways are becoming delayed. Write this down if you get nothing else from me today. All of your familiar ways are becoming delayed. Because now he wants you to look within. This is now. This is right now. Up is later. Up is delayed. Here is now. There's not any sin in your life. It's not nothing wrong in your life. You're just looking in the wrong spot. I love you too, man. That's the first time I've ever seen you say that. I love you too. So you guys got to receive it.